Hello there, and welcome back to Szpakowo. So it's September, and I believe it is the month that we're going to harvest our long grain rice. So let's take a look at the map here. Take a look at the growth in our fields, and we can see that number 162 over here, our rice field, is ready to harvest. So that's going to be our priority. And once we've harvested that field, we're going to take a look at one of the productions. I did some research in between episodes, and what I think I'm going to do is build some kind of production. I was thinking over here, but thinking about it, it might be better to build it over there next to the silo. Although, having said that, making a trip across the yard to unload grain into the production isn't going to be the worst thing in the world if we do build it over there. I do kind of like it over this side rather than that side, because for some reason I like having that side clear, and also it makes the field a better shape if we block off another area over here rather than start blocking off chunks on that side. But that's for after we have harvested our long grain rice. So to start out, let's jump in our harvester and we will start it up, and we're going to have to switch out the headers. So let's do this. We'll get over here like this. We'll drop our regular header, which is the one we're going to be using today. We'll hook up our trailer here like that. And then we'll just drive it out here. Honestly, we probably could just drive the harvester over to the field with the right header on it, because it's down the street that doesn't have any other cars, but I would rather just do it properly. So we'll grab our corn header, we'll dump it in the shed just over here, like that, and then we'll grab our regular header, attach it to the trailer, and we'll head over to our rice field. Very interested to know the yield of long grain rice. As I said, when we were planting and tending to our fields, it's the first time I am working with rice in the game, so I have no idea what to expect in terms of yield and what we can expect to get in terms of production from that yield. I did take a little look at the recipes, but without knowing how much the field yields, it's kind of hard to know what we can expect to get from the resulting productions. So let's attach to our trailer with the correct header on it, and we'll head over to the rice field. Okay, so here we are at our rice field, and I've just sent the tractor over here as well, so we don't have to go fetch it once the harvester fills up. So that is on its way, and it should arrive, hopefully, by the time we are full. So let's get the header attached, and let's see our expected yield for long grain rice. Okay, we'll unfold the header. We'll unfold the header like that, and then let's take a look and see what we get. We're getting here 12.2 tons. That's pretty good. I wonder why is the harvester going so slow? That's interesting. Is that a rice thing? Why it's going so slow? Yeah, I'm not sure why we're going so slow here. I don't know if that's a rice thing, because this harvester with this header can do 9 kilometers an hour. So yeah, don't know what's happening there, but we're harvesting long grain rice. It seems to be behaving really strange. know what's going on. Yeah, I'm really not sure. And it seems to be getting stuck on the floor. Interesting. What I was going to check, yeah, I was just making sure that we weren't missing out on swathing. I didn't think we were, but I just wanted to make sure. Now, why are we going so slow? If we lower the header, it looks like the header is actually going down too low, but I don't think we can change that. Guess we'll just have to see how it goes as we continue to harvest the field. There's definitely something unusual happening here. Anyways, I'll continue with this and I will rejoin you once we are complete. Okay, so we are almost done with this field, and we had 2 harvester loads plus just over 50%, so that's a pretty good yield for long grain rice. Now I know that long grain rice yields lower than regular rice, but regular rice requires specialist equipment in terms of planting, and I don't remember if it requires specialist harvester or not. But that isn't bad. So we got, let's go to our tractor and trailer. We'll get this loaded. So we have 9,800 in the tractor, and let's see what we get out of this. So, and then 2,700 or so. So yeah, that's actually pretty decent. We'll wait to see our total once this is finished. Now what I think I'm going to do is I will continue with rice, because I think it will be a good base for our flour production and our processed food production. But what I think I'm actually going to do is sell this field, because it's just inconvenient in terms of its location and getting to it. And I think I'm probably going to buy a field that's closer to our farm to perform a similar purpose. I think I figured out what the issue is for the slow harvester before I put it on a time lapse. It's something to do with the edges of the rice field being slightly higher than the rest of the field, because once I'd done the headland and moved into the infield, the harvester resumed work at its full speed. So I don't think there's a way around that. I think it's just the nature of the rice field, because it's slightly higher at the edges so that the water doesn't run off and out of the field. So it was a field issue, not anything to do with the harvester. Okay, so we're back at the farm, and we'll park our header trailer next to the other header just over there, and then we'll ditch the rice into the silo, and then we'll look at our production. So Let's take care of the header first of all. Oops, we're running over our corn header. Never mind. I'm sure it'll survive. Okay. And then we'll just park our header, our harvester. In fact, we'll leave the harvester here for now because I have a feeling we're going to be doing some contracts later this month. So, over to our tractor trailer. 12,579 litres off of that field. And that was a fairly small field. I wonder if it's something to do with the... there we go. Something to do with the tip side. It's interesting that you are limited where you can tip into the silo based on the door that you're using. I didn't realise it was that intricate. Okay, so we'll switch off the tractor. Let's jump into our build menu. Now, what I was thinking for our production was... Let me find it. Where is it? It's this one, the preserved food factory, because it can have a number of rice products, and so that would be a good start for our productions. The other option we have is a flour mill. So if we look at the flour mill, where is it? Down here, we can produce rice flour. What I would like to do is have both of these. Ideally, we would have the grain mill to throw rice flour into, and then in our preserved food factory we would make rice noodles. And that needs rice flour and eggs, so we would also need chickens to be able to do that. Let's smooth out the land here a little bit, and actually we'll smooth out the land a little bit like that, and then we will go to our painting. I think I want to redo this whole area so that it's not gravel. I don't really like the gravel, to be honest. Let's do it in this. So let's go into our factories and let's build the preserved food factory. And I think I'll build it just in the corner here like this, because this way we can kind of drive in and out of the road onto the road with our product. I think this is a good place to put it. So we'll just park it over here in the corner like that, and then eventually when we do get a grain mill we can kind of have it either here or we can have it here facing the preserved food factory, and then we can easily just drive products across into the food factory from the grain mill if we get to that point before we end up moving farms. Okay, so let's now take a look at our VIP orders, because we need to deliver 4,000 litres of the long grain rice to Szpakowo, which is right over the other side of the map. And the only thing we have left to do after that is the sunflowers. So I'm going to load up the long grain rice, the 4,000 litres, and get it sold off over at Szpakowo. And then we will take the rest of the rice and we will throw it into our preserved food factory and get some productions going. Okay, so we're over at Szpakowo, and I almost delivered the rice to the wrong place. I actually don't know if it's possible to deliver it where the other grains go, but I almost drove in there and I thought I should check the label, exactly what it is, and it turns out that we are to deliver it here and not to the other place that I was going to deliver it to. Thankfully I checked that before I dumped the rice. So there we go. We've made 4,000, almost around 4,100 for that, including the environmental score. And you can see that the VIP order has gone down. The VIP order requirement has been fulfilled. Back over to the farm, and while I was on my way over to the delivery point, I was thinking about the next level of VIP order and the cows. So we are going to have to do quite a bit of forward planning for cows, because it is quite a lot to set up in terms of what we need to feed them and the cost of the actual cow barn. So I think we're going to probably need well into 6 figures to do this. I have downloaded a mod that that makes the total mixed ration if you give it the inputs. So we won't have to buy a mixer wagon and have that and drag that around the farm. But yeah, so when we get back to the farm, we'll take a look. Firstly, we'll take a look at fields, and then we'll take a look. I mean, we don't really need to take a look at what the cows need for now. We still have the sunflowers to deliver. So what we might actually do is we'll look at swapping out our field, the rice field that we just took the rice from. We'll look to see what fields nearer our farm we can buy, and we will hopefully take care of that transaction. Then we'll take a look at other harvesting contracts to see if there's anything that needs taking care of, because I would imagine with the field purchase we won't have much, if any, money left. And then we might skip through to October, and hopefully we are going to be able to harvest some sunflowers for our neighbours out of one of those 4 fields that currently have sunflowers in. I'm really hoping that that goes our way, because if it doesn't, we're going to have to plant our own sunflowers next year, unfortunately. So we will see when we get back to the farm. Okay, so we are back at the farm. And let's take a look at our options for fields first of all. So currently have this field 162. How much is it worth if we sell it? 51,000. So we have around 62,000 to buy an additional field here. Now what can we look at for 62,000? That's only 34. That's 88. 60. So we could go with this field here. Now what does it currently have in it? That has harvested spinach in it. So it would be nice to have something that we have the option to harvest, but this does look like a perfect size field, and it's just down the road from our farm. It's a perfect shape for rice. Let's go take a look at it. If we visit this field, is it flat? I don't think it's quite flat, is it? But that's okay. I'm thinking that I want something quite flat for the rice, because this could be our permanent long grain rice field. Obviously until we relocate our entire farm, this would be pretty good. And our farm is just down there beyond those trees. So I think what we might do is sell the other field and buy this field. Let's just take a quick look at what our other options are in the area. There's this one field here, and what does this have in it? That has soybeans in it, so this might actually be a better option for 2 reasons. So it is slightly smaller, but it has soybeans in it, which means if we buy it, we would be able to harvest the soybeans in November. And also it is next to field 131, which is my ultimate goal for setting up our farm in this game. So once we made enough money to move away from this field, I mentioned that I wanted to set up a farm here because it's really nice and flat, and then we'd have really good access to all of these large fields for growing our operation. So I think this might be the best option. The only other option we have here is next to it, but that's too expensive. So yeah, let's do that. We'll sell our rice field that's over here. I have to sell objects on the field. So what do I have over there? The only object I have is the rice things. Maybe I need to delete that. Is that what we have to do? There we go. We can remove the rice field. And this has turned into a not field anymore. So yeah, it was good for a rice experiment. We have really kind of messed up the terrain, but that's okay. So now we can see, should be able to sell the field now. So if we sell that, yeah, 51,288. And so let's go over here and buy this one here for 57. Let's just take a quick look at it. Now this is relatively, it's perfectly flat actually, so this could be our regular rice field. Let's do that. Let's buy this field. There we go. So this is our new field. It has soybeans in it. It's in growth stage 6 of 7, which means we probably can't go over it with fertilizer or a weeder or anything, because the crops will be destroyed. Let's purchase the precision farming data for it, and let's take a look. It's probably not been well looked after, because generally the Other farmers don't look after their field, but that's okay. What do we have here now? Yeah, pH value is bad. Nitrogen is good because soybeans don't need nitrogen. So this is our new field. And this is the start of moving our farm over to this area here. So that's fantastic. Okay, we'll leave the cows until we are ready to start exploring them when we get to the next level of VIP order. Let's take a look and see what contracts we have. We have a cultivating contract over on field 42. That's a nice 3,600. Do we have any harvesting contracts? We have red beets, potatoes, carrots, sorghum, parsnips, carrots. Unfortunately, no harvesting contracts that we can take care of, apart from that sorghum field, which, where is it? It's still that number, field 67, which I don't really want to do because it just got loads of tram lines all over it, and it's not going to be enough sorghum gained from it for our personal storage to make it worth doing. Could do field 53 with lime. That'll be a nice long skinny field. That'll be a once up and once down. We could do this, and then we could do cultivating in where is it, up here, 42. That's just across the way from 53. And I think that would see us good for September, and we could then move into October and take a look at the harvesting sunflowers. So let's do that. We'll take this and then we'll go down here. Where's the liming? We'll take this lime contract. Okay, so 42 and 53. So let's jump back in our tractor and we'll switch out the trailer for the cultivator, grab our spreader, and we'll head over to those fields. Okay, so we are approaching field 52 on the right, just after this small road, and this is the field that needs lime. So let's quickly drop our cultivator just here, and we'll get the lime taken care of. And something I just realized is that I completely forgot to put the rest of the rice in the preserved food factory and start the production, so we'll have to do that when we get back to the farm. So let's take a look at the steering assist. We'll switch that on and we'll get started. I'll get this and the cultivating done, and I will rejoin you once that has been completed. See you soon. Okay, so we are pretty much done cultivating this field. We're going to have to do just a little piece of this row, just so that the contract comes complete. And it's going to be a very minuscule amount. There we go. So we'll fold up our cultivator, we'll let the owner of this field take care of the rest of that, and we can head back to the farm. Okay, so we are back at the farm. We've dropped off our tools. Let's pick up the trailer and load up the rest of the rice for the processed food factory, or the processed food production point. I wouldn't really call it a factory at its current size. We'll just jump in here and we'll pick up the rest of the rice. Only 8,500 litres. We'll see what options we have for producing product, and we'll see how long this 8,500 litres lasts. Let's take a look at what we can do with the rice. So, what options do we have here? We could make some rice rolls, and we could also make some long grain rice bags. So let's do those two. So how do we activate? We activate that, and then let's put it on distributing. And the reason I'm doing that is so that it doesn't kick the rice rolls out into the drop-off point, and we can wait till we sell it, and then we don't have to shift stuff around. So next up, I think it's a good time to skip through to October and see what other harvesting jobs might come up in the other fields, because we have a little bit of money and we don't really need to do any more contracts. We can take a look to see what contracts have come up, but I am not expecting anything else to have come up that we're going to be able to do, or that I want to do. So we'll skip through to next month. I'll see you in October. Okay, so it is October, and let's take a look first of all at our production to see how it's doing. Okay, so we have 850 litres of rice bag produced, 567 litres of rice roll, and we've used quite a lot of our long grain rice. We used about 3,000 litres, so maybe we'll get one of these and two of these before we run out of long grain rice. So we're not going to be getting that much. I definitely think in hindsight we should have bought the flour mill instead of the preserved food factory. Reason being that we could have thrown the long grain rice in there for rice flour, and we could also have thrown the wheat we have in storage for wheat flour, and we could have made a little more money off of it. But that's okay. The decision has been made now, and we're not going to go back and change it. So what's on the cards for October? Well, we can do this corn harvesting. That's 11 acres for 12,000. That's probably going to be our play for at least the first half of this month. The only other contract we can actually do is the soybeans over there. Thinking about soybeans, actually, let's check that new field we bought, because our own field that we bought, the soybeans are ready to harvest in there. So we can harvest our own field, and then we can go and harvest I think it's field number 6 over here for our neighbour. So we will take care of that. Let's grab this corn contract. Just thinking if I do actually want to do it, because it's going to take a long time. Yeah, we will do it. We will do it, because it's going to get us a nice chunk of money. Let's grab our harvester, and we'll need to switch out. We won't need to switch out the header first of all, because we're going to do our own field. And then once we have done our field, then we'll need to switch out the header. So I will continue on with harvesting our soybean field, and I'll make a start on the cornfield for our neighbour, and I will rejoin you in a while. Okay, so we're almost done harvesting our soybeans. We have one full harvester load in the trailer, and we've got about another half harvester load, so not a great yield from this field, but that's okay. We'll get these soybeans offloaded in a couple of months once the price comes away from its rock bottom, as it usually is in harvest month. And so let's stop the harvesting there, and let's jump in our tractor and go and get the harvester emptied. Now, something I just thought of, and I probably didn't think this through when I took the contract at the massive field, is that we're going to have to definitely come back over here and refuel the harvester at least once. So what I'm going to do before I head over to that field, I'm going to make sure I have a full tank of fuel. It's definitely not going to last for the whole field, but I should ensure that it's full when we go over there so that it lasts as long as possible and I don't have to make an additional trip. And we also need to go back to the farm and switch out the header. So we'll put the grain header back on the trailer, and then we'll head over to the farm, we'll switch the headers out, we'll go pick up some fuel, and we'll drive over to the cornfield, and then we will start harvesting the cornfield. And once we've started harvesting, once we've done the headland, we'll then drive our tractor back to the farm, get the tank emptied, and I think I might modify the trailer to have the additional 7,000 litres. I think that might be a good idea, because I think we're going to get a considerable amount of corn off the cornfield, so don't want to be driving over to the sell point every 30 seconds. Although the sell point is fairly close, so it may not be that bad. Okay, so here we are at the large cornfield, and this is an absolute monstrosity of a field. I wasn't sure if I was biting off more than I could chew when I accepted the contract. I hope I'm not. But this is definitely going to take a considerable amount of time to get done, so I guess I should stop talking about it and start doing it. Let's get the header hooked up to the harvester and make a start. So we've got a full tank of diesel. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm guessing not very long, but we will see. This is certainly going to take a while. I will make some progress, and I will see you in a little while. Okay, so we're just unloading our first harvest load of corn. We have nowhere near completed one lap of the headland and we're already full. This is going to be a long contract, but it's okay because we'll get 12,000 euros for the contract, and I don't know how much corn we'll have left over, but it's going to be a lot. So that will be for us to keep at the end of the contract. So if that was 4,900 that we have just harvested, I would say there's at least, it says it's 5% complete, and once all of the field is complete, it's usually around 80%. So I would say there's probably going to be, I don't even know, I don't even want to guess, it's going to be a lot of harvester loads, maybe 10 or so, 10 harvester loads, so 50,000 litres, and we'll get to keep around 5,000 of that. Yeah. So that won't be too bad for further usage. I will continue on, get some more of this done, and I'll rejoin you in a bit. Okay, so we're done the headland of this field, finally. 3 harvester loads, plus 60% of the 4th load. But now we can finally focus on just doing the rows. And for those Hawkeyes amongst you, yes, I did use an AI worker to do some of that field, just because I had to have some IRL lunch. I was hungry and I needed to eat, so that last piece was a combination of the AI and myself. But I'm back now, I'm well fed and ready to tackle the rest of this cornfield. Just feels like it goes on forever. We've used almost half a tank of diesel and we've just about completed 2 laps of the headland, so we're definitely going to have to fill up at least once, maybe even twice. I'm really not sure. We will see as the field progresses. It's a bit of an odd shaped field. There's 2 bunches of trees that kind of take quite a bit of the field away, which kind of good for the purposes of this. So it's not one big square field. We've got these 2 chunks of trees that make it a little less arduous. Anyways, I will continue and I will rejoin you for an update in a little while. Okay, quick check-in with an update. We are 50% complete with this field. Probably a little less than 50% harvested because the delivery portion of the contract takes into account some of that. We've made a trip to the drop-off point. So we're around 50% done though, I would say, somewhere thereabouts. And I think this is probably our, what are we on now in terms of harvester loads? Probably 7 or 8, I actually don't know, I've lost count. Doesn't really matter that much. It's a lot, let's put it that way. Running a little low on fuel, about a quarter of a tank left. I was hoping that we'd be able to get this top section done before we had to fuel up, but I don't quite think we'll make it up and down that many more times because we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we have about 10 passes of this top section of the field before it's complete. So I don't think we're going to quite be able to complete it all before we need to go and get some fuel. However, once the top section of the field is complete, that is the bulk of it. So the other sections are somewhat smaller. If we look at the map in the lower left corner, yeah, so this is the biggest section of the field. The other sections are considerably smaller. Once this is done, the rest of it will feel, hopefully, a little less monotonous, and then we can revel in the thousands of dollars that we're going to get paid for this contract, all 12 of them. I will continue with this, and I will rejoin you for another update soon. Okay, another quick progress update. We are getting there with the big part of this field. Got, I think, just under 4 more passes of this big section to do, and then the other 2 smaller sections to clear. The other 2 sections are nowhere near as big as this, so this definitely is the bulk of it. I had to go back over to the fuel station to fill up with fuel, and I also repaired the harvester while I was over there. Not sure if repairing makes a difference, but thought I would get it done anyway. As you can see, we are starting to lose light. It's getting dark fairly early as it's October, so we will be harvesting into the evening, probably not quite into the night, but definitely into the evening. I think we're almost ready to send our 3rd truckload over to the sell point, probably after this load, maybe after the next load. I'm actually not too sure. But yeah, that'll be our third truckload, so it'll be 60,000 litres or so. Anyways, I will continue with the harvesting, and I think at this point I'll probably rejoin you when we're just about complete. So I will see you then. Okay, and we are on the last row of this field. This has been an absolutely monumental task, and I am happy that we are almost there. We have taken 3 trailer loads over to the delivery point, and I think our trailer has another 7,000 or 8,000 litres plus whatever is in the harvester. So that is it. Let's grab our trailer and get it loaded up. So 6,300 in the trailer plus another 3,000 or so in the harvester. So we'll get this transferred over, we'll get whatever we need to taken over to the sell point, and then the rest is ours to keep. So we'll switch that off, wait for this to unload, then we will switch it off, take everything we need to take over to the sell point, and then we'll make our way back to the farm. And let's make our way to the sell point. We'll make sure we've got the tip side set to grain door so it comes out slowly, and we'll start unloading. Wow, we really didn't get to keep much, did we? 2,300 litres out of that whole field. That is kind of disappointing, if I'm honest. I thought we were going to get about 6,000 or 7,000 litres out of it. But anyway, we did get a nice €12,000 payday from the contract itself. So, and the contract actually completed. So I shouldn't complain. Okay, so let's take a look at this completed contract. So we can collect that. It's 12,000, almost 13,000 actually, so that's not bad. I wonder if any of those sunflower contracts came in. They did not. No sunflower contracts. Well, I guess it's a good thing because we didn't have the opportunity to do it while we were doing the corn contract. So, okay, I'm going to head back over to the farm, unload the trailer, and take the harvester back over there as well. I think this is a great place to leave the episode. Don't think there's anything more to do for the month of October. So I hope you've enjoyed following along while we harvested that gigantic field. If you are enjoying, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will hopefully see you in the next episode. Until then, bye for now.